Hey guys, excuse me, drink some water. So let us create we're gonna create the class here. We're gonna call it store scrape.py, right? And then we can continue. Okay, so remember this is just I'm gonna keep this on this side and let's see if I can move this a bit. Great, that's all we need. So I'm gonna copy most of the things that we need from here and paste it there. So we need this. We also let me just check what's going on. Why is it picking up that? I activated my environment. Okay, let's just continue in the meantime. And then we're going to need some of our Selenium drivers. And no, it seems like it hasn't. So we just go source, and I think it's scripts. Activate. Yeah. Cool. And then let us hide that. Okay. And let us continue. So like watch the videos for the Python fundamentals. We should have videos on how to create your own custom classes, but you start off with the class keyword and your class has to start with the capital letter. And then I'm going to call it StoreScraper, right? Oh, where is it reading? No, I want the virtual environment. So let's go for that. Cool. So that's the StoreScraper. And then I'm just going to get some of the Python documentation that I've created for this. Okay, so it's just a StoreScraper. It takes in a date stamp, and then it has several attributes to do some stuff. Okay, it just returns StoreScraper objects. Please comment if you feel like the documentation string could be a bit better. I would appreciate that. Init, all right, to initialize our StoreScraper, I'm going to say date stamp, right, is equals to none. So that's a default, right? And then I'm going to initialize current date. Okay, and to do that, I'm going to say self.current date is going to be equals to date dot today on today, right? And that is a string, right? And then from there, I'm going to also initialize date stamp, right? Okay, and I'm going to do a check, right? Date stamp. I'm going to do a check. I'm going to check if the date stamp is none, right? Then use today's date, right? And to do that, I'm going to say is equals none, right? And then Control S to see there in the space. Okay, no space yet. Let me just go there. All right, cool. So I'm going to say self.date stamp, right? Is going to be equals to, we're going to take it an F string. And what I want is I want self.current current date dot year. And then I also want self.current date dot month. And lastly, I want self.current date dot day. Yeah, that is it. Else, right? So if it is not none, and this is a scenario where somebody puts in a string, and self dot date stamp is going to be equals to let me check if I'm on. Okay, great. So the date stamp will not be the date stamp, right? That the person user or is putting in to initialize this object. So that's that, right? So now we're done with the date stamp. The next thing, we want to get the store information dictionary, right? So initialize store information dictionary. Remember, that's where we get our categories for each store. And I'm going to call it store information dict, right? I'm going to say that is going to, okay, so I need to import something here, and then I'm going to say from here, import helpers, yes, and Selenium scrape, great. So I want to use the helpers function. Remember, we used the helpers function before, and helpers.get store URL dict, and then from there, I just want hard code this category, and then sheet.xlsx, right? And that's that. And then I'm also going to now initialize storage path, right? So that's number 4, right? Storage path. And then now we self dot storage path is equals to os dot get current working directory, and then I want another string. It's going to be data stores. Right now, this one is a bit. Should I create a driver for this? What is going to happen once I'm going to use this driver? So we're going to have a driver for the class, and then for that we could initialize the process of scraping URLs. However, we will be using the Selenium script module, right? So the Selenium script we're going to create, we're going to data there, right? So we're going to build on this, and just like before, we're going to be calling it just how we're doing with helpers. We're going to be calling it where we need it. So I'm just going to not, where are we? Number 5. I'm going to ignore number 5 for now. And then, yeah, okay, cool. So next one, the first method that we want to create, right? So that's, oh, yeah. Right, so the first method that we want to create is store scraper. That's what I want. StoreScraper, and StoreScraper object is used to scrape out information, and there we have some information there, right? So I still have drivers, so I think I should move driver. I'm going to put it there so that it doesn't confuse people. Remove it. Okay, cool. And we can put in proper grammatical punctuation. Okay, cool. So from there, what was I going to say? Yes, our first method. I'm wondering, should I? I'm wondering if I should show you how the scraper works. Okay, let me just comment all of this out. This is where we were before. Like before, what we did was we just went to the bottom here, and we just all right. And then I could also say, I think can I put a comment there? Can I say from web scrape import? Say from web scrape dot store scrape import store scraper. Okay, so that's our class there, right? And I could initialize an object of this. I could say initialize I've been using S and Z. Let me continue, be consistent. Initialize a store scraper object. Okay, and then we could say store scraper, and just like before, that's how we do it. And then I'm not going to put in any date, so I just want to run that, and I just want to print type of store scraper. Then it should be fine. Where am I? I could just say Python main.py. Didn't throw any errors, but if it does, we will solve it. And great. So there you go. So that's the type of object it is. We have a store scraper object. Now let us define our methods. Okay. Okay, so the first one is get a product URL. So get product URLs self. All right, and then should I? Doesn't really take anything, but I'm just gonna create some. That there doesn't really return anything, does it? It does actually. I think it does. No, it doesn't. Create something. Okay, but let's continue. All right. So what is going to happen here is going to define date stamp. I think I have what we're going to be following, so we can actually just move on from here and go, yeah, cool. And then I will show you how it's working. Great. So so this is what we're building now. Get products. So like I said in the other video, I'm going to follow this. So first thing we do is define our date stamp, right? And to do that, I'm going to say date stamp, and I can just access that attribute using self.date stamp, right? And then we get the store category information, and then to do that would just be the store information is self.store information. Yeah, okay. And then the last one is get the store storage path, and that should be storage path is equals to self.storage path. Right, there we go. These variables, looking at it now, and we could just use them directly, but I kind of like this one where we don't have self in the I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. So now we've done that. So now for each store, we're going to iterate. For each store, we're going to now invoke this create directory function, right? So we're essentially iterating through the sheets. Remember, each sheet represents a store. And I think that yeah, we only have one store now. However, let me create another. I'm going to create this locally and then show you what we should have. All right, cool. See you there just now. Okay, great. So yeah, so this is how it should look like now. So we have woolworths, right? We have seven categories. And then we have checkers, which only has five, right? Okay, great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So each sheet represents a store. Okay. And then let us continue and go back to creating this. Okay. So now from here, essentially let us now iterate. And I'm in the right position, but I'm not. So we'll move. Okay, great. So what we're going to do, we're going to iterate through the store information dictionary, right? And then I think that's all I need. Okay, for store, right? Like before, category dict, right? Um, in store information dict dot items, right? I'm going to create the create the directory for current dates, right? And like for it's just going to be helpers dot right helpers dot create directory, and we're going to say storage path, right? Plus a string, what's the store, and from there we want date stamp, right? Remember, if it exists already, then it's just going to say exists and not going to create anything. And then after that, what we're going to do is, okay, so we've done that. Now for each category and category inside this particular sheet, right? Inside this, the data in the sheet, right? So um, let us not do that. So we're going to say uh, access the information in the sheet, right? So what we're doing is we're going to say for category, right? Category URL and category picked, right? Dot items again, okay. From there, we're going to create a directory, right, to store product URLs. And then I'm going to say product URL path is going to be equals to storage path plus, just like before. Let me just copy that actually. Don't waste too much time. Paste, and then it's going to be what we want is store name, and then we want product URLs, right? So that's that, okay. And then create the, just like before, create the path, right? Helpers dot create directory. Let's say product URL path. Great, okay. And then we can do the same for product data. Let's say create directory to store product URL data. And essentially, actually, I've just copied this, to be honest, and change two things. This one's going to be product data path, and instead of saying URL there, it's going to say product data. Okay, and then I'm going to say product data path. All right, so that's done. Now that we've done that, we're going to get scrape product URLs, right? And then this is where the scraper will come through. So remember, we're still in a loop. So what we're going to say is category product links, or sorry, get product URLs from internet. So scraping starts now. All right. So this is for each category that we do, right? So category 1, category 2, we're going to create this product directory. thinking actually, this all this is going to run like for every category. It's going to create. We have quite a number of them, right? So this is going to run. So this should actually be here. This should be here because there's nothing that we're using here right now. So if I move this, all of this, all of this should be here. And then let me just bring that back. All of that should be there because when we get to the store, create all of that. Okay, and now we want to, for each category, we now want to start scraping for the data. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And we'll check out the functionality. I hope that makes sense. So, so I'm going to say category product links, right? It's going to be equals to Selenium. Let's scrape URL scraper, remember our function that we used before. Okay, so the product URL page returns that, right? So now it's going to take the category URL, and the category URL is going to be category URL, and that should be it. It's just one thing, right? However, you see, when we eventually collate, where's our previous one? Collate all of this, or oh no, I haven't shown you actually that. But however, what is happening is it doesn't know which store it's going to be from, right? But let us continue. So that is that category URL. Let's continue. Let us continue. And then from there, I might come back to that and explain what I mean. We're gonna say we're gonna sanitize like before. Sanitize category string to remove unwanted characters and white spaces, right? We're going to say sanitized category is going to be now equals to helpers dot sanitize category should be a great category, right? That one. And then we can now write product URLs to CSV. Okay, helpers dot create products. That's the one we want. And what does it take? It takes in a category, product links, right? List of, and then it takes in the sanitized category, right? And then the current date, self dot current date, and then the path product URL path. Okay, and that's that, right? And that is that, right? So, however, actually, you know what? It's always good to test it. I'm gonna say, okay, we'll see what happens. All right, so that's that. I've initialized that, and I want to say get product URLs, right? So I could say store scraper dot get product URLs, and yeah, it takes nothing, returns nothing. Great. So we could run this, and we'll see if it runs. What is that? Okay. Main.py. We'll continue. And great, already created. So, oh, okay. It seems to be working. Okay. Well, it should work because remember we are just reformatting this from the sequential method. So there it is going, right? It's going to take quite a while. So I'll just pause it and stop it actually, to be honest, because I don't want it to run the whole thing. But as you can see, it's working. Cool.